Let's head from Georgia at the low end of vaccination rates to West Virginia with one of the highest. Joining us now, Republican Governor Jim Justice. Governor, you have been on top of this, ahead of this vaccine rollout since the beginning, and now you've changed strategies, offering a $100 savings bond to young adults who get vaccinated. How's that working?
Well, Stephanie, we're just in our infancy on this and everything, and I would tell everyone there's no silver bullet here. I mean, when it really boils right down to it, what West Virginia did, we got way out ahead of this thing. We led the nation in every way. Every single state, you know, we got so many of our people vaccinated that now we're basically hitting the wall a little sooner than other states are going to do that. But we've got 42% of our people fully vaccinated, you know, one shot, about 53%, you know, but at the same time now what we need to do in order to get to where we can really shut this thing down in West Virginia, we came up with the idea that what we're going to do is really target our young people now, 16 to 35 years of age, and give them something that is basically a dose of patriotism. This country's too divided. This country doesn't need to be all about Republican and Democrat and independent. It's too divided. We need to be Americans first and foremost. And so we're going at that, you know, with a U.S. savings bond and give all of our young people $100 and everything. Maybe a keepsake they can keep for a long time, and if not, it's $100. So with all that being said, you know, we're really hopeful to be able to get a bunch of our young people, and if we do that, we'll get to the point in time where we can shut this thing down in West Virginia.
Well, sir, I have a 14-year-old, and I'll tell you, $100 would motivate him. I want to ask you about mining. It's a key industry in your state. You used to run a coal company. The United Mine Workers of America endorsed Biden's green energy policies in exchange for job training. Is that something you can get behind?
Well, in all honesty, Stephanie, there'll be a point in time, I really believe it's decades away, to where we can actually transition at that point in time away from fossil fuels. I think it's ludicrous to think that we can move that way in the very, very, very near term. You know, but from the standpoint of what the United Mine Workers is doing, you know, too often we do things just out of motivation and political things. And you know, we want our miners to be working. I mean, there's no question about that. Our miners need to be working. These are the greatest people on the planet and everything, but they want to mine coal. And, you know, and as we transition forward and everything, if they can't mine coal, I would be for any kind of training, additional training, where we can keep our people working.
Sir, is it that they want to mine coal or they want to support their families? If they can be paid for job training and get another job that pays them as well and protects their health, why wouldn't they want to do that?
Well, Stephanie, in all honesty, these people are really proud of what they've done. I mean, you know, they've either powered the nation or they have absolutely in every way, they have done things that have given us the metallurgical coals that transformed into steel, that provided us protection in wartime and everything else. So they're really, really proud of their industry and what they do and everything. So we can't really take that away from them. But you are correct in this. First and foremost, they want to provide for their families. And the safety of this industry is always tough. And so there's real benefits both ways. I think in West Virginia, the salvation in West Virginia from the coal side is we have a tremendous amount of our mining operations. In fact, my family's operations have always been in the metallurgical side, the steel making side. Didn't have anything to do with thermal coal and burning it for electricity. In fact, my dad used to always say it's a crying shame to burn up a ton of coal trying to make electricity.
I want to ask you about other families. The law you just signed banning transgender female athletes from playing on women's school sports teams. Can you name one example of a transgender child trying to gain an unfair competitive advantage at a school there in West Virginia?
Well, Stephanie, I don't have that experience exactly to myself right now, but I will tell you this.
Not yourself, your state, sir. Can you give me one example of a transgender child trying to get an unfair advantage? Just one in your state. You signed a bill about it.
No, I can't really tell you one, but I can tell you this, Stephanie. I'm a coach, and I coach a girls' basketball team. And I can tell you that we all know what an absolute advantage boys would have playing against girls.
But, sir,
We
you
don't
have
do
no
that.
examples of this happening. Why would you take your time to do this? Let's talk about other things that I can give you examples of in your state. According to U.S. News and World Report, West Virginia ranks 45th in education, 47th in healthcare, 48th on the economy, and 50th in infrastructure. If you cannot name one single example for me of a child doing this, why would you make this a priority? I just named 4 things that would seem to me like a much bigger priority.
Well, Stephanie, I didn't make it a priority. It wasn't my bill.
You signed it.
I mean, it's just come to me, and I have absolutely signed it because I believe, from the standpoint of a coach, I believe that girls work so hard to obtain Title IX, and I do not have any idea now why we are trying to disadvantage them in participating in the sport that they put so much into. I don't know why we're doing that. This is not like it's a big priority to me. In fact, I think we only have 12. No, Stephanie, listen. I think we only have 12 kids, maybe in our state, that are transgender type kids. I mean, for crying out loud, Stephanie, I signed hundreds of bills. This is not a priority to me. But with all that, I would say I think that it would impose an unfair disadvantage on the girls. And so from that standpoint, I support it.
All right, then, sir. Thank you. And please come back when beyond anecdotal feelings as a coach, you can show me evidence where those young women are being disadvantaged in your state, because I can show you evidence about how ranking that low in education is disadvantaging young women and men in West Virginia.
Hey, thanks for watching our YouTube channel. You should know that you can follow today's top stories and breaking news and catch up on your favorite MSNBC shows all in one place. Download the NBC News app today.